About Shield annuities from Bright House Financial, established by MetLife.
Well, the worst weather can bring out the very best in people. In desperate situations, the heroic hand of a stranger might be the difference between life and death. In the Weather Channel's new series, Heroes and Survivors, premiering Sunday, we show you stories of bravery and defiance from some of the most extreme weather situations around the world. In this first look, a dog rescue goes horribly wrong.
It was about 3 inches thick of just crushed, but it wasn't strong enough to hold your body.
After 30 minutes, he makes it to the closest dog.
Get your head up! Breathe!
My energy level was just dumping. It takes so much energy out of you.
John is exhausted.
Hold, let's go! Easy, easy, easy!
Firefighters bring him and the dog back to shore.
Lance, did you get the dog?
Next up, Chris LeClaire starts the journey to the collie 100 feet from the bank. But there is a serious problem with his dry suit.
My suit started taking on water around the neck area, so the extreme cold water was starting to come in, starting to shock my body around my heart area, and then it would filter down through my arms.
His body temperature is plummeting fast. Chris is in big trouble.
I was starting to become overwhelmed because I had no more strength to even go on any farther than I did. The adrenaline was starting to wind down. All you could hear was the quiet around. You heard the dog whimpering, and I was just out of energy.
Hypothermia sets in. Chris is unable to reach the dog.
Heroes and Survivors premieres this Sunday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, right here on the Weather Channel. Jim, that was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, imagine going hypothermia, imagine being numb and you're in the ice cold water. Horrible. Amhq is your travel headquarters. A soggy morning commute for some of you, that's for sure. Atlanta is not one of those places that we at least have rain all over town, but there have been some spotty showers, some wet roads, but Atlanta's on the move, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see this morning, it is rush hour in what I call Atlanta Wood now, Jen, because they do so many shows down here.
Yeah.
They film so many movies
Hollywood,
down in Atlanta.
There's a lot of
Atlanta
movies
Wood.
and stuff getting filmed in Atlanta. That looks like a really good commute, surprisingly, for the Atlanta area, just because this morning. Now, and with this forecast, we do have rain at the airport right now. It's raining at the airport in Atlanta. Scattered showers through the area for the morning rush. Throughout the day, you know, the ride home from work, there's going to be rain. Will you get rain? It's going to be one of those hit or miss situations where not everybody sees rain for the entire rush hour home, but there's a decent chance that scattered showers here will be popping up at some point on your ride home from work, and we'll be watching that right into the early evening, and then things start to calm down as we get into tonight. Steph and Jim?
Nationwide, 360 severe weather reports into the Storm Prediction Center. That makes Tuesday the second most active day of severe weather for 2018 so far. All
right, so we're talking about April 3rd. Preceding that with 423 reports, a lot of impressive video to share. But let's go ahead and break it out. Radar and then video stops along the way so you can see what happened in some of these areas.
Okay, so it really started breaking out around that 1 o'clock hour. I mean, noon, you see some storms here, but let me put this into motion. You see 1, 2, 3 o'clock. This is when the line develops. But you have to remember, and you made this note last hour, the biggest forcing that cape was right along the 95 corridor. That's kind of where it was the highest. So it hadn't hit that yet.
This was our best instability right in here. All right. So now we're moving storms into that, so they're actually going to have a chance to grow.
But before they even got to that, they were doing this into Woodstock. Quarter-size hail in some places. We did, however, in New York see baseball-size hail as well. This is Woodstock. But that baseball-size hail, you saw that observation. What county? With Columbia County is where I think that baseball-size hail was located.
Yes, I think
this isn't going to do the damage. It's the baseball-size hail that is going to do that damage.
But, you know, getting tough accumulating hail, you know, you've got a whole hail core dumpage right there, and that means probably some gusty winds as well. Let's move the line upstream here, and you'll notice almost a little change in that. Instead of going like this, now you've got it like this a little bit, Steph.
Yeah, you get
so there's
kinks.
jet inflow in the backside of this.
You got this going on, these little kinks coming in that you have to watch out for that. So what did this produce? Well, as this came down, we saw trees taken down as well. I'm not sure what happened. There it is, that video for you. So this was what actually took the lives. We had 5 people that died yesterday, and a lot of it is because of the trees.
Because of the trees falling on cars and whatnot. This is right in the apex of that. This is like northwest New Jersey, where where these winds moved on through, but a lot of this, where you would just go from nothing to all of a sudden this huge blow of 50 to 70 to even 80+ mile-per-hour winds.
All right, so then this thing was really blowing through the Northeast. Travel was at a standstill, and we saw a lot of undulating clouds, a lot of undulating apparatus, I feel like, in the pictures that I saw, because the clouds, it's fluid. This is in Exton, Pennsylvania. Just like water, when you go in a lake and a boat leaves like a wake behind it, the atmosphere does the same thing.
That is called the whale's mouth, all right? So the gust fronts come through already. This preceding the rainfall off to the west.
All right, so this all then continued to blow through down into D.C. now, right? Look at Frederick. Did you see that? They got hammered by rain in Frederick, Maryland.
And hail, tennis ball size hail preceded. As a matter of fact, we have both on video.
Yeah.
You can see the hail drops in the water, and they only get bigger.
And you can hear it too.
Yeah, you can hear it.
You hear that? Well, there was a flood emergency declared by the National Weather Service. 5 to 8 inches of rain, I don't doubt it. And then, Jim, this is the freaky part with the hail bouncing in it like cannonballs.
Right, so it's one thing seeing the hail bounce in the water, but you know it's also hitting the metal of the cars and denting those cars. That's hail damage. That's an insurance claim right there.
That it is.
Many
Jen.
of them.
And more rain in that area again today. All right, let's go coast to coast with your Wednesday morning weather headlines. The warm weather, it's even hot in some places, has snakes on the move. The reptiles are looking for cool spots away from direct sunlight, and experts say if you want to keep snakes out of your yard, don't give them a place to hide. Clear debris and wood piles, and above all, don't try to catch them.
Vast majority of the time, 95% of all snake bites occur when you're trying to kill the snake or you're trying to catch the snake. Moral of the story, leave them alone. They don't want to bite you. You're too big for them to eat. They're only biting in defense.
The majority of snakes are found in gardens and are harmless. Now, take a look at this. That is some wind, and that is a dust devil that tries its darndest to take that canopy down at the outdoor market. The little twister moved onto a parking area, and the only damage it managed there was to dirty up a few cars with that dust. Still, what a mess. I'll be right back with more on AMHQ. Stay tuned.
It's the biggest news ever.